Have you ever walked into your kitchen and realized your roommates are mid-argument? Even if they're silent, the vibe is so thick you could cut it with a knife. You weren't imagining that. You were sensing their biofield. Today, we're talking about energy psychology. Most people think therapy is just lying on a couch, talking about your childhood until you cry. But science is proving our emotions are actually electrical frequencies in our body. If you could retune your brain's frequency as easily as you tune a radio, would you still need 10 years of talk therapy to feel at peace? Energy psychology has helped thousands of people around the world reduce anxiety, trauma, and stress. Its techniques are simple, accessible, and based on ancient healing traditions combined with modern psychology. It may sound strange, but remember, electricity sounded strange once too, and unlike therapy, tapping your face is free. Here's a breakdown on the category. First, EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, is one of the most famous techniques found in energy psychology. It's often called tapping, and it's a simple self-help method used to reduce stress and negative emotions. It works by tapping on specific points on the skin while focusing on a problem or feeling to send a calm signal to the brain, and this was created by Gary Craig. Secondly, TFT, which stands for Thought Field Therapy, is a more structured and complex approach to tapping, and this came before EFT. It's the original phobia cure that started the movement in the 1980s. It was created by Dr. Roger Callahan, who was treating a patient with a severe fear of water, and after years of traditional therapy, he had her tap on a point under her eye based on acupuncture meridian theory, which focuses on energy pathways in the body, and she reported that her fear disappeared almost instantly. TAT, Tappis Acupressure Technique, was created by Tappis Fleming, a licensed acupuncturist, and she created this to help her clients. It involves lightly holding specific acupuncture points on the head with your fingers, focusing on a problem and following mental steps to help let go of the issue. Eden Energy Medicine is a holistic healing approach developed by Donna Eden. It focuses on the idea that the body has natural energy systems that affect health, emotions, and overall well-being, and the system of movements are used to balance the body's meridians. Pranic psychotherapy is the most innovative branch we will focus on today. By definition, it's a no-touch biofield therapy that treats emotional and mental imbalances by modulating the energy centers, or the chakras, and that correlate to the human nervous system. All of these ideas follow the phenomenon called the piezoelectric effect. When we apply pressure to the skin, we send an electrical signal to the amygdala, which is the brain's alarm system, telling it to shut off the fight or flight response, therefore feeling calmer. To understand energy psychology, we must understand its main ideas. First, the body has an energy system similar to meridians used in acupuncture. Second, psychological problems occur when this energy flow is disrupted or blocked. Third, by stimulating meridian points through tapping, these disruptions can be corrected and the flow of energy can be restored. And fourth, once energy is balanced and the flow is fixed, emotional distress like anxiety or fear may decrease. We can use metaphors to help explain this concept, such as hardware for software. Traditional psychology updates the software, which is our thoughts, while energy psychology updates the hardware, which is the nervous system. Understanding this matters because some issues, like habits, for example, are software heavy and respond well to traditional therapy, while some are hardware heavy, for example, trauma, and they respond much better and faster to energy psychology approaches.
Now I know you're thinking, is this group really telling me that poking my face like a troubled woodpecker is going to cure my anxiety? It sounds like a TikTok trend gone wrong. If you're skeptical, you're in good company. The APA was spectacle for decades until the data made them look twice. The opener. we are looking at the scientific evolution of 5,000 years of Eastern observation into 21st century Western neurology. Ancient TCM developed the map of meridians and discovered that emotion distress is caused by static in these electrical pathways. In the 1980s, Dr. Roger Calhoun found that tapping under eye instantly cured a chronic water phobia, proving the mind-body energy connection. Modern pranic psychotherapy moves beyond tapping, the modulating biofield, aura, and chakras, energy transforms. It treats the energy form of the emotion directly. For example, removing the cloud of anxiety from the solar panel. A 2025 meta-analysis of 13 studies with 621 patients found that EFT significantly reduced PTSD symptoms compared with controls. A systematic review and a meta-analysis reported reductions in depressive symptoms after EFT treatment across multiple trials. Some studies report biological effects such as improved immune markers and reduced cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Changes in brain activity, improved immune markers, and global use and credibility is estimates suggest tens of millions of people worldwide use EFT or related techniques. There are also tens of thousands of trained therapists using energy psychology approaches to help clients. This research has been conducted by 2,000 plus investigators in over a dozen countries. Indonesia is actually one of the largest centers of research with dozens of studies on a variation called spiritual EFT. Energy of psychology is not mainstream everywhere, but it has entered some institutional settings. Some examples are the USA Veterans Administration, which lists EFT as a generally safe therapy used by some psychologists. It was found that 86% of veterans no longer meet PTSD criteria after 6 sessions. Some UK National Health Service platforms have used it with patients. Some Korea's medical health service practiced have used it with patients. Thank you.
Okay, so far we've talked about the history and the main ideas of energy psychology. And we've already looked at methods like EFT, where people tap on points on the face and body to help with emotional stress. Now I want to show you what this can actually look like in practice. And let's be honest, it might have looked a bit funny that we're just tapping on our faces in the name of psychology, but now we're moving away from that and into more of a wax on, wax off approach like Mr. Miyagi. Alright, before we move into pranic energy healing, I want us to do a quick EFT exercise together. I want you to put down whatever you might be holding and take a deep breath with me. We're going to start tapping on the side of our hand, also called the karate chop point. As you're doing this, please repeat these words after me. even though this might feel a little strange, I'm open to learning something new. And I let my body relax, and I want to stay in the present. Thank you. While EFT works through tapping on the body, another form of energy psychology takes a different approach and focuses more on the body's biofield. This brings us to the pranic healing, an ancient no-touch energy healing practice that works with the idea of life force energy, or prana. In this approach, the body is understood to have energy centers, often called chakras, and practitioners aim to clear and balance those centers to support emotional and physical well-being. Before a session starts, there's usually an intake interview. This is just a conversation to help the practitioner understand what the person's going through and what might be best for them. Like a lot of helping professions, it starts with listening first. This also connects us to the mind and body connection, which we do talk about in psychology. Think about it. When you're stressed, it's not just in your thoughts. It shows up in your body through tension, shallow breathing, restlessness, or fatigue. A lot of people get stuck in rumination, replaying the past, or just constantly worrying about the future. Practitioners like this are meant to help shift someone out of that state and into a calmer, more grounded one.
Perfect.
Okay, to make this more real, I've conducted an interview with Puya, who is a pranic energy healing practitioner who also uses tuning forks. Let's go. Puya, thank you so much for being here and answering some of the questions.
It's a pleasure, Elena. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm just curious, when someone first comes to see you, can you just take me through the process of what happens?
Of course. So even before somebody has a chance to come in, what I really like to do is conduct an intake interview. In that process, I really like to get a better understanding of what that person's going through. What are their struggles? What are some of the emotional issues or weight that they're carrying? And through that process, then I can hone in better when they come in for the initial energy healing practice. It's really important to get to know what they're hoping to get out of the experience first.
And what kind of practice do you do?
I practice something called pranic energy healing, and it's a very ancient form of energy healing, goes back to the 20th century. And what it essentially is we work on the energy system meridians. So pranic healing is based on the idea that the body has an energy field system, and particularly energy centers known as the chakras, that we go through the process of trying to identify where there may be stagnation, where there may be congestion, where we need to get the flow of the energy going again.
Okay. What are you actually looking for during a session?
Great question. The most important thing is all of us, through our experiences in life, collect energy, and sometimes that energy gets trapped in our bodies. And when there's an entrapment of energy, we're no longer feeling completely ourselves. Maybe we feel a little bit more emotional, maybe we feel shut down, and that really can be felt through the energy center. So when I go and scan the body through my hands, I can feel which energy centers are activated, which are maybe depleted, and through the protocol, then we would go ahead and rebalance the body.
Oh wow, that's really interesting.
It's fascinating.
Is it like acupuncture then?
In a way, acupuncture inserts needles in those meridian points, and we work on the end points of those meridian points, the chakras.
Okay. Wow. I talked about tuning forks. Can you explain how those work?
Of course. Tuning forks carry energy and vibration, and you'll be sharing with the class as an example. And what happens when we place those in specific energy centers of the body, the vibration and the frequency brings balance to those energy centers. Quite profound.
What do people usually say they feel after a session?
Yeah, most people who come for an energy healing session end up feeling a lot more relieved, calm, peaceful, and overall they feel that they've let go of a lot of energetic weight. And so there's a greater sense of balance and harmony within themselves.
I've experienced that myself, and it's absolutely great. the feeling of being grounded and just everything. It's absolutely stunning.
Absolutely. It's a very grounding experience.
Thank you so much for your time again.
Of course, it's
It
a
was
pleasure.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
So, in conclusion, pranic healing is about feeling different, not just thinking different. And this is exactly why it's gaining more momentum and popularity. And please don't worry, if I catch you on campus tapping on your face, at least the people from this class will know what you're doing. And please.
Now, of course, whenever you talk about energy meridians or chakras, you meet the skeptic person, the one who says, well, I can see a chakra on an x-ray, so this must be placebo. And I always think I can see my Wi-Fi signal either, but I definitely start crying when it stops working. But let's take the criticism seriously for a moment. In psychology, we don't judge an intervention by whether we can photograph it, but we rather judge it by the outcomes. And the outcomes are measurable. We can measure cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. We can measure HRV, heart rate variability, one of the most reliable indicators of nervous system regulations. We can measure changes in breathing rate, muscle tension, and emotional reactivity. Across multiple studies, when people use tapping, breath energy techniques, or somatic-based energy interventions, we see significant drops in cortisol, increases in HRV, improved autonomic balance, reduced emotional intensity. You don't have to see the mechanism to acknowledge the effect. We don't see gravity either, but we'll respect it. So the real question is not, can I see chakra on an X-ray? But rather, does the nervous system respond in measurable ways? And the answer is yes. Let's zoom out and look at the whole picture, the 5 Ws. Who? Energy-based psychological methods didn't appear out of thin air. They were pioneered by clinicals like Dr. Roger Callahan, expanded by practitioners around the world, and standardized by organizations such as the Institute for Inner Studies and various energy psychology associations. These are not random hacks, but rather structured systems developed by trained professionals. What? Traditional thought therapy works top-down. You're stuck with thoughts, hoping the body follows. Energy psychology flips it. It works with the hardware, the autonomic nervous system. So the software, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions can finally run without crashing. This aligns with modern trauma science. If the nervous system is dysregulated, the mind cannot process safely. Where? These methods are used in VA hospital for trauma support, disaster relief zones, addiction and depression clinics, integrated mental health programs, community healing initiatives around the world. They are not fringe. They are being used where stress is the highest and resources are limited. When? The roots are ancient, meridians, breathwork, energetic mapping, but the modern framework is supported by bioelectromagnetic research, psychophysiology, neurocardiology, the science behind HRV, stress hormone studies like cortisol research, and then intuitions meets modern measurements. Why? Because the body needs a natural energy reset. When the nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, no amount of positive thinking can override it. The body must feel safe before the mind can heal. Energy psychology gives the body that reset, quickly, gently, and measurably. Here's the big idea. Traditional psychology often tries to fix the software, your thoughts, your beliefs, your stories. But if your hardware, your nervous system, is overloaded, glitching, or frozen, the software can't run properly. It's like trying to install a new app on a phone with 2% of battery. Doesn't matter how good the app is, the system is not ready. Energy psychology reboots the hardware first. It regulates the autonomic nervous system. It restores electrical and hormonal balance. It creates the physiological conditions for healing. And once the hardware is stable, the software, your thoughts, your emotions, your identity finally has room to play. That's the future of mental health. Mind, body, energy measurement. Not choosing between science and intuition, but integrating both. Not waiting months for change, but creating shifts in minutes. Not treating symptoms but restarting the system, and that's why this work matters. Because when the hardware and software finally work together, people don't just cope, they transform.
An EFT practitioner that we researched is named Brad Yates, and he posts videos on YouTube going into depth on tapping and even posting ones that you can do and go along with him. So if you want to check him out, I'll leave a QR code and let me know how your tapping experience is.